All right, I want to go over a couple more things. This is the stuff we did in chapter 2. I wanted to show you some of the commands that we did in class and go over them and explain them a little bit better. The first command I want you to know is the PWD, or present working directory, and that's going to tell you when you first log in what your home directory is. And home is it is the directory that is assigned to your user when you create a new user. Okay, so let's do that first. Let's create a new user. So of course we want to do it as sudo. So super user do once. That means anytime that we want to make changes to the system, we need to have the administrator. It's like the administrator account, administrator rights to do that. And then the command is add user, and then the user's name. So we'll just call him Mike. And I hit enter, and notice what it does. First, it creates a new user named Mike. Then it adds a new user group, Mike, and then it adds Mike to Mike, and then it creates a new home directory for Mike in the home folder. And then it asks for a password. I'm just going to give Mike a good password. You'll notice that the cursor's not moving. That's okay. The password is being created. And then it just asks for some more information about Mike, which you don't have to actually put in. And then you click yes or Y and hit enter. And at this point, if I go back and do an ls, which means list, I'm not going to see anything. But if I go up one folder, and this is a new command, cd space ... make sure there's a space, hit enter, that takes us up one folder. So now instead of being in the home Ubuntu folder, we are just in the home folder. And if I do an ls, notice that there's now two folders there, one for Mike and one for Ubuntu. Okay. I'm going to clear my screen, and I'm going to hit cd enter. That's another command, just cd without anything else, enter. And notice what happens. Present working directory, it takes me back to my home directory. Another command I want you to know is just the cd space /. Now in Linux, / is the root directory. Root meaning at the lowest level, or the highest level, whichever way you're looking at the directory tree. If I go into that folder and hit enter, now my present working directory is going to be just root. Okay, and if I do an ls here, you'll see all of the main folders in Ubuntu. Two folders you need to know in this, or three folders that would be very important for you to know here, is home, etc, and var. Now inside the var folder is where all of your web server files are found. So if we go to cd var and then HTML, okay, that directory right there, var www HTML, anything that goes inside the HTML folder will be able to be viewed publicly. It'll be viewed on a web server. Okay. Now watch what I do. I'm gonna delete this the whole tree, and after the V, I'm gonna hit tab. And notice how it autofills. I hit W and tab, H and tab, and there's two good parts to this. First, when I hit tab, it makes it easier, so I don't have to type it in. But second, it shows that there's actually the folder actually exists there. Okay, I hit enter, and now you can see after my $, you can see the directory that I'm in. So if I do pwd, it says I'm in the var www HTML folder. Okay, if I hit ls, there should only be one file there, and it's the index file. And if you view the website, this is that index file. Okay, so this is my public IP address, and this is the actual index file. All right. Now let's do another command. Then the next command I want to do is the ls space -l. This command is what I like to call the detailed view for a list. Notice it gives you the permissions of the file, who the owner is, who the group is, and the file name. Okay? So that's very important. I also want to show you the command W. Now W tells you who's currently logged in and where they're logged in from. You can also do who am I, and it tells you that you're currently logged in as Ubuntu. Okay, so I'm going to clear the screen. Now I want to switch my user to Mike. So SU is going to switch the user to Mike. I'm going to log in as Mike, put in his password, and I'm still, notice it says that I'm logged in as Mike, and this is my folder that I'm in right now. So if I do who am I, it says Mike. If I do a W, it still says I'm logged in on this server. Okay. Now I'm going to clear the screen, and now I'm going to go CD, enter. Then I'm going to do present working directory, and notice that now my present working directory is home, and I went back to Mike. So I'm in Mike's folder. Okay. Now I'm going to CD, and I'm going to go to var www html, again using my tabs so I don't have to type so much. I'm going to hit enter, and I want to create a file here so I can make a new website for Mike. So if I go Vim, now Vim is just a text editor, it's just like Notepad, and I'm going to call it new file 1.html and hit enter. This is now the text editor. To play with the text editor, let me move it up just a little bit so we could see at the very bottom. It says it's new file 1. I'm going to go into I, which is insert mode, and then I can type whatever I want. I get out of insert mode by hitting escape, and then I'm going to hit :WQ. That means write and quit, save. Notice down here on the bottom left, it says :WQ. I hit enter, and it says I can't do this right now because I cannot open the file for writing. So I hit enter, and what I'm going to need to do is quit. Okay, and it says, oh, you can't quit. So what you're going to want to do is Q and then what we call bang in the Linux world, or exclamation point, and that's going to get you out of Vim. And notice if I do an ls here, that file was not created. Now you're probably saying, why did it not work? Well, I don't have the right. If I go up one, I do not have the right to create any. Mike does not have the right to do anything because root owns HTML, and root is the group for HTML. So let's go back into HTML and let's do it again, but this time let's add sudo on the front of that. Okay. And it says, what is the sudo password for Mike? Well, I'm going to put the password in. It's going to say, hey, Mike is not on the sudoers file. And I'm like, oh, man. So what that means is he's not on the list. He can't be a sudo. So he doesn't have the rights to be an admin. So what I'm going to have to do is just say, hey, you know what, Mike, you're fired. I'm going to have to just get out of Mike. And now I'm in Ubuntu. At this point, I could hit the up arrow and it doesn't do anything. But let me do, notice I did hit the up arrow and it takes me through Ubuntu's old commands. Okay, that's kind of cool. However, I'm gonna try to create this file, sudo vim new file .html. Enter. I go into insert mode and I say, hey Mike, too bad you couldn't create this file. Okay, I get out of insert mode, I write and quit, and it worked. Okay, now let's go out to the web and see if that file actually exists. So I'm going to go to the very end of the website, and I'm going to say new file 1.html, and it says, hey Mike, too bad you couldn't create this file. Okay, so that's how you create a new website. Now, does it matter who the who the user is that creates this? Yes, in the sense that root owns HTML and you had to do it as sudo. Let me go ahead and do an ls-l, and you'll notice that because I created the file using sudo, root owns new file 1. Okay, that's the key right there. Root owns new file 1. All right, so I've pretty much covered all of the things I wanted to cover in this video. Let me go back to my home directory, and you'll notice that I'm currently in home Ubuntu. Okay, I'm going to clear the screen, and I'm just going to do another command called touch new file 2, hit enter. There's no errors, and if I hit ls-l here, it's going to say, here's my new file, but notice now who the owner and the group is. Ubuntu, and that's for my new file. Now, if instead I do sudo touch new file 3, okay, now, again, no error messages pop. I'm going to hit up arrow twice. Notice the one I made using sudo, the owner is root and root. So just whoever creates the file gets to own it automatically. Now, touch means just, hey, create this file, and it's an empty file. If you vim, that's the editor, you can go into that. Now, if I go sudo vim new file, notice it almost all the way auto-completes, but it doesn't. So if I hit tab again, I hit tab too many times, so if I hit tab again, it lists the 2 files that has the potential. I'm going to do 3, and now I'm in this file. I'm going to insert mode, which you can't see because I'm too, there we go. Now I'm in insert mode. I hit I for insert mode, and then say, this is my new file. Get out of insert mode by hitting escape, right, and quit. And now if I ls-l, notice it's just a little bit bigger. That 24 right there is a little bit bigger than that 0. Okay. And if I tried to edit as Ubuntu, if I just vim new file, again, if I hit tab twice, it shows me which ones I can do, 3. And I try to edit this file, I go into insert mode. It says, warning, I can't do this. You can't make a change to this. So I'm just going to quit and get out of it. Okay, so anyway, so there's touch, there's vim, there's w, who am I, ls space -l, and then a whole bunch of cd commands. I think, and then of course the add user command. So for right now, I think that's a pretty good video. Again, remember, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be putting some more videos out there.